Hey there, guys. Welcome back to our dual commentary of Assassin's Creed 2. I put in a lot more edits this time around to remove a lot of fluff, just so the commentary is a lot more cohesive. But for this sequence, we will be assassinating Jacopo de Pazzi and his conspirators. And I'm also joined by my friend Pcol.
It's me.
Yeah. So, I recently went to the library today, and I got the Assassin's Creed Atlas. So this is roughly a 128 page atlas, or I'm sorry, 180, but it has information about certain locations. This is the most recent version. This was released in 2021, apparently, so like a year after Valhalla release. Although for some reason, the only form of information you seem to get from Assassin's Creed Valhalla is on the very last page. Everything else is just from the other games.
Greece is a fucking stupid location because it's not in a real Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, but they still include it nonetheless. But yeah, there is a bit of information about this. It's like I said, it's mainly information about the actual locations, but there is some information about what happened to certain characters. Like for instance, in Greece, apparently there's stuff about the cult of the cosmos and Cassandra and Alexios' fall. Apparently, did both Alexios and Cassandra fall off the ledge, or was it just one of them?
Alexios got thrown off the cliff, and then Cassandra tried to jump off. She jumped off the cliff to try to get Alexios, so then they both fell off.
And they both survived. I mean, it's not clear how. I mean, Alexios technically has first civ DNA, so based on that weird Ubisoft logic, they both survived the fall.
Yeah, but even if you have first civ DNA, I kind of doubt you're gonna survive a fall off a cliff as a fucking baby.
Yeah. But apparently there's mention about the Pythia, which is like the Oracle of Delphi. Apparently this Oracle was corrupted by the cult of Cosmos, and all of her visions align to the wills and needs of the cult. And apparently this atlas is saying that the cult of Cosmos is kind of the same as the Templars or the Order of the Ancients, and that they desire humanity to be guided in order to achieve some kind of goal, like the typical Templar ideology, even though the cult of Cosmos just seems like a very separate kind of organization.
Proto-Templars, even though it's not Proto-Templars, because they're nothing alike. They're not the same thing at all. They're just fucking stupid shit that was made up for no reason.
Not to mention they were wiped out so easily by Cassandra, which is pretty silly. I don't know why, but when I'm looking at the locations for AC2, the only mentions of locations from AC2 are just Florence and Monteriggioni.
Why?
There's no mention about Venice too. Why is there no mention about Venice?
Venice was literally like the biggest city in the game.
Oh no, there is. It's just a little further on in the Italy subsection. There's a bit of information about Ezio. There's a bit of information about Leonardo and Altair. There's even some brief snippets of information about the modern assassins, and I think these are even excerpts from the comics as well. I think maybe some of the artwork listed in this atlas comes from the comics of those games, or from those modern day era.
You're talking about random shit like fucking Juno dying and Desmond's son.
No, more so like stuff about like the Altair 1, like the actual ship that they're on, and the Great Purge. And there's also some bits about Abstergo Entertainment, and like apparently entertainment pacifies and controls the masses. This Abstergo subsidiary serves primarily as a propaganda tool, utilizing virtual reality experiences, video games, and movies. And that their history is apparently like not correct, which is obviously true.
I thought entertainment was just video games. I didn't know they did movies. I don't think that was ever mentioned in the games.
I mean, wasn't the virtual reality experience actually mentioned in Abstergo Entertainment?
Yeah, because that's how they fucking used the memories from the Animus. They used the Animus and it was like, oh, it's virtual reality, and they used that to make video games, but I didn't know they did movies.
No, it was mentioned in Brotherhood, wasn't it? It was mentioned in Brotherhood during that one Civ 16 puzzle. Remember that one voice recording you could do where the guy is talking to that reception lady, and he's asking why you can see a channel between the channels that talks about the heart rate and the like? And if you're seeing it on this TV, then it must mean that Abstergo Entertainment has some influence in the movie era, pretty much.
Well, that's not like making a movie with memories. That's just like a fucking random ass TV channel that like stalks you that you're not meant to find.
Yeah.
This is different.
Yeah, but I mean, if that channel is existing, then it must mean that Abstergo Entertainment has some influence in movies. If they're going to be seeing a channel in between the channels with their customers, maybe. Also, there's some artwork here about the very first Animus. Apparently, the first Animus looks more like a dentist chair, and it's blue. And it was
What the
apparently
fuck?
it was the first stable version of the Animus, and it dates back to the 1980s, created by Warren Vidic. And like I said, there's stuff about the Great Purge. So at the turn of the year 2000, the Templars launched the Great Purge against the Assassins, and even managed to eliminate the Mentor thanks to Daniel Cross.
Because that was all mentioned in AC3, I think. And then in Rogue, when you upload Shay's memories to the fucking cloud or whatever it is, one of the people says it's like the Great Purge all over again or whatever.
Yeah, but I find the wording to be a little bit strange because it almost gives the impression that the modern day assassins only have one mentor when the modern day assassins should technically be spread out over different countries. I mean, it does mention there's only like a few dozen left after
Well,
the
I
Great
think
Purge.
like the modern day mentor is like also like extremely well hidden. Like most of the assassins don't even like know what he looks like.
Yeah, but I always thought that William Miles was the official mentor of the Brotherhood.
I think he's the mentor now, but like he's not. He was the mentor that died in the purge.
Hmm. Yeah. But there's stuff about Layla here, and that she made like a very advanced Animus model to actually explore the memories of proto-assassins in the time of ancient Greece and Cleopatra. I wonder if there's any mention about Darius and what they actually say about that, because like we obviously know that with Assassin's Creed Origins, technically Bayek was supposed to be the one to start the assassins, but I mean like Odyssey completely ruined that for whatever reason. And
I mean, I don't even know if like a book like this would even like go as far as to like to mention all the DLCs and shit.
Yeah, like I don't think so. I mean, and again, it's an atlas, so it's mainly like locations rather than actual specific events. But yeah, there's a lot of information to really dissect from this, I feel, based on the game. One thing I do find interesting is the Monteriggioni chapter. There's an auditore named Domenico Auditore. He was the one that hid Altair's armor in the sanctuary.
Wasn't
So
he
it was.
like the first auditory that like came to Italy? Or like made the auditory name?
Are you referring to the auditory tomb where I believe his name is mentioned?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, because there's like a whole. I think the auditory family came from like a separate country or something, and they came to Italy to like run from the Templars or something, and then like they built up like the whole auditory family and like made a whole new name.
Yeah, and I mean, I think he also came into contact with Marco Polo as well, right?
I think so. It's been a while since I did the auditory tomb.
Well, at least I show it in this video, the auditory tomb. The stuff about Rome, um, it is also one of the few places on the planet with such a high concentration of temples of the Isu civilization. There are at least three: the Colosseum, the Vatican, and the Pythagorean, which we do see in the DLC as well. That seems like quite a coincidence that Rome would have that many Isu temples.
Well, Rome is like a big like center point for like human history, so that's really why.
True, but I would expect a lot more in Africa, though, because I mean, Africa is kind of where scientists say a lot of life sprung from, you know?
I mean, it's nothing like Wakanda from Marvel.
I guess, yeah. But here it is, the auditory tomb. So I do take the time to read the documents, and I don't skip them immediately. Oh, so he was raised,
1296.
yeah, 1296 by the Venetian Lagoon. But this is a pretty interesting tomb because you don't actually get any kind of seal or anything. You just leave the tomb, and I believe there is some treasure. And Pcol had complained that I wasn't getting the treasure from these tombs, but at least with the auditory tomb, I do take the time to pick up all the chests.
It's free money that you can't go back and get because AC2 doesn't let you replay memories, so you can't go back and get it if you miss it.
Yeah, but you see here, Marco Polo. So this is when his father told him he was an assassin. And I believe, yeah, he had the pages of the codex as well. I believe Marco Polo had given Altair's codex to Domenico Auditore, and that's why we can find the codex pages in Italy.
I think like eventually like the Templars get some of them because I remember Sean saying collectors have or whatever.
Yeah, and we know that Domenico Auditore was ambushed by pirates, and his wife was almost raped by them. So yeah, I think that's what caused a lot of the Codex pages to scatter that whole event. But well, we'll see later on once we get to these documents here. And see, he met with Dante Alighieri. So Dante was an assassin, and I'm confused about this whole from the palace of the great Genghis Khan. So it says that Marco Polo brought the pages from a book that he brought back from the palace of the great Genghis Khan. Not too sure if that's referring to the Codex or not, because we know it was from the assassins, like from Altair.
Is that referring to like other stuff? Is that like referencing the thing that was in Uncharted 2 with like the fucking Chintamani stone shit?
Probably, for all we know. That's pretty interesting to see that. But it's cool to get this kind of insight into like Monteriggioni and like the first auditory of the story of the life. I like that kind of storytelling with these older Assassin's Creed games.
And this wasn't even like in the base game. I think this was like a Ubisoft Club thing, even though it's not even called Ubisoft Club anymore. I also don't think you can even get like any of the rewards for AC2 anymore. I think they stopped like having those available, so I don't know if you can get them anymore.
I mean, with the way Ubisoft's been favoring other avenues of microtransactions, I guess there's no surprise right there.
Well, I mean, AC2 is also like an old game, so like they probably don't want to do support for it anymore.
An old game that they remastered in 2016, so you'd think they would still be support.
Well, AC1 is older, and they haven't remastered that.
Yeah, I wonder what's taking them so long. I mean, what do you think that an AC1 remake would be like? I wonder what they would do for a remake of AC1.
I don't know if I told you this, but I literally saw something on Twitter. I think it was Twitter, like a few months ago, that was like, so someone literally said, "I don't want AC1 remastered unless it plays like Odyssey and Valhalla." It's like,
Are
bro,
you
what
fucking
are you
kidding
talking
me?
about? Yeah,
What the fuck is wrong with that guy?
What's wrong with you? Why?
So he's talking about his mentor here. Yeah, see, Dante intended to take the Codex to Spain. So he was referring to the Codex before with the Palace of Genghis Khan. So why is he saying that and not Altair's fortress in Masyaf? Unless like somehow he lost the Codex between him receiving it in um, AC Revelations and then with Genghis Khan. Hmm, it's a little odd.
It's weird. I need to go do this again when I play AC2 again.
We might just be reading it incorrectly. That might be it. Oh, what a coincidence that my father told me to take the Codex and leave for Spain, and we know that Ezio intended to take his family to Spain before actually settling into Monteriggioni.
And then you think he goes to Spain and helps like Christopher Columbus or whatever in the fucking side game.
Yeah, so AC2 Discovery, that's what it was.
I don't know why they put like all this like writing on the walls and shit in here. Well, like I mean, in universe though, like in universe, why would you like write all this shit on the walls like this and then like have this entire like place be like all run down like this?
I mean, like, probably to test whether you're truly an auditory or not. I don't know. Like, I guess this guy must have felt a need to disclose all this information because he felt that no enemy would ever stumble upon this place. But this is the part where he's talking about the pirates. So, and I believe these guys were Templars. Yeah, there's the door, and then here's the final entry. So he went to Venice in disguise to find his father, and he returned to Florence the next day. And Marco Polo and his father were dead. Of course, we don't know. Was Marco Polo's son alive during this time?
God, I forget what his son's name is.
I think it was Marcello. Marcello.
Oh,
Yeah. So he adopted the name Auditore, impersonating a noble at the Florentine court. Yeah, this is when he's talking about hunting down the other Templars and killing those who murdered his wife, basically. This was an interesting change of pace with a tomb. Yeah, see, you're to the auditory that reads this. Like he was expecting an auditory to come here. Yeah, that's why he's let out all this information here. Very odd that there's no mention of San Gimignano in this atlas. There's no mention of it, despite.
Because it's like such a small city, you only go in the story like twice.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, a lot of significant events happened there. I mean, Vieri's invasion of San Gimignano, the co-conspirators lingering about, Rodrigo Borgia actually introducing
Isn't
himself
this
to
where you
Ezio.
learn about Venice for the first time?
Yeah, you learn about the Templars in Venice when you go to San Gimignano.
And then you also get smoke bombs because one of the missions gives you smoke bombs.
Yeah, I feel like there are some significant events to
You know,
discuss with
smoke bombs
right
are
there.
dumb in this game because they don't allow you to hold more than 3 in AC2 for some reason. They let you get like knife pouches and stuff, but they don't let you get a smoke bomb pouch. Which is stupid because smoke bombs are so useful. Is this the one that gives you smoke bombs? I don't remember. I think this is
Yeah,
the smoke bombs. I
yeah,
always do
this.
this one first because it gives you the smoke bombs, and then the smoke bombs are good.
Yeah, but I always climb the Abbey here, and then I just
I
use
think there's
Eagle
a
Vision.
glyph up here too.
Yeah, there is. It took me a while to find it, which is why I've edited the whole moment where I'm just like trying to find this glyph, because it is pretty well hidden in certain parts.
I think this is the monkey one. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure the
Um,
monkey one is like on a tower somewhere, and I think this might be where the monkey one is.
no, I think this one is the pyramid one, like the ziggurat.
I don't remember. I don't remember like what glyphs are which glyphs.
Hmm.
Well, actually, I think the one under the bridge in Venice is the spider one.
I wonder why Subject 16 chose those kind of symbols. What's so significant about a spider and a monkey? I mean, the monkey I can kind of understand because it's like the proto-human basically, because we kind of started out from apes.
Well, they reference the Nazca line things that are in like Peru or whatever that like people think were like made by aliens or whatever. Didn't we talk about this in AC1 when I was showing off the glyphs?
I don't think we talked about the Nazca lines. I think we talked about other ones. I'll have to look back at the video again to see.
I don't know if you've done all the races in AC2, but like when you do all the races, it gives you one like final race that you have to do, and that one is a horse race for some reason, even though all the other ones are an on foot race.
Huh. I've never done all the side missions in this game because I find them very mundane and boring.
It has you like go like all around like the outside countryside of Forley on a horse, and then you end up having sex with some person in a haystack.
What?
The person who gives you the mission is like some woman who's like racing other people on a horse. You finish the mission and SEO flirts with her, and then they end up having sex in a haystack.
That sounds like something more befitting for Edward Kenway, not Ezio.
Well, that's what happens. I've done it multiple times.
I'm curious. I wonder what the Atlas has to say about Bayek's time in Egypt. So on page 67. Because obviously I'll never play Origins because I hate the game. But I'd be curious to see what exactly is here. The local Magi Bayek prevents the Order of the Ancients from entering the Temple of Amun as the price for his son's life. He will do anything to avenge the murder of his child.
Is that what the temple is in Siwa is called?
I guess so, yeah. The Temple of Amun. I mean,
It's just
not.
like a random temple.
I don't think it's the same temple where his son was murdered. I think it's a different one.
I'm
Like
pretty sure it was the exact same temple.
I'm not too
Because,
sure.
like, he gets murdered in the temple under Siwa, but then, like, later in the game, you go back to Siwa, and the Order of the Ancients, like, killed or, like, mind controlled everyone with the apple. And they open the vault, and then it shows, like, the globe map of Eden pieces, like, that was in SE1.
Yeah, yeah. Laser C did mention that in his Legacy of the First Blade episode 3 review.
And I think that's why they were trying to open the vault, because they wanted that globe or whatever for some reason. Which is honestly never explained. Or it's explained and I just forgot because I don't play Origins.
Oh my god, dude, this is funny. There's a section with Giza, and it's talking about the pyramids, and we already know about the massive plot hole in Assassin's Creed Odyssey with the pyramids somehow being constructed after they were already constructed in Legacy of the First Blade Episode 3. And even this atlas is acknowledging that plot hole. It says, in Cleopatra's time, these great pyramids had already existed for more than 2,500 years. This is a longer period of time that then separates the present day from her era. So clearly,
Oh my god.
the person who wrote this atlas had bigger brains than the people who wrote Legacy of the First Blade Episode 3 with that whole pyramid scene.
This person who wrote this book is smarter than people at Ubisoft who make the fucking games they wrote about.
That is fucking stupid. That's really stupid.
Oh my god, I hate this fucking company so much.
Yeah. But in 48 BC, Bayek had pursued Haliset, a member of the Order of the Ancients. 2 years later, he stopped the priest posing as the resurrected Ibis before he could enter the Isu temple. Who was this priest?
You literally never see his face, because like even after you kill him in the confession cutscene, he's still wearing his fucking Anubis mask.
The pyramids are mysterious structures. They are basically a necropolis of the kings of Egypt, located not far from Memphis, the capital of Egypt at the time. The fact that the guy who wrote this atlas can be that clever compared to the people at Odyssey.
What if you watched Laser's video?
Yeah. Also, I think I remember something about Bayek actually finding recordings from the Isu. They mentioned this somewhere in the atlas.
Yeah, because those were those were in like special like temples you can find in Origins where you had to like put in like pieces of silica and it would have like a recording from like before the Great Catastrophe happened.
But I thought Bayek couldn't see those recordings.
No.
Hmm.
You could see them, but like people who played Origins are just fucking stupid. And he
Yeah,
thought
but
he couldn't.
But doesn't Layla acknowledge in Assassin's Creed Valhalla that Bayek literally couldn't see those, even though she could see them because they were like specially implanted within her animus somehow? I think Laser Z even acknowledged this, or are we talking about different recordings that Bayek could actually see?
I don't even know, because I know there's a video that Lasers made where like someone was saying that Bayek couldn't see the globe in Siwa, even though he literally could because Layla saw the globe. I'm pretty sure that operates on the same logic. I'm pretty sure if Layla saw the recordings in the Animus, then Bayek also saw them.
I know Laser Z acknowledged that the fact that Layla could actually see those but Bayek couldn't is very strange, but I mean like the Subject 16 glyphs in AC2 and AC Brotherhood, Ezio couldn't see them, but Desmond could, so it's a very similar kind of process, but Laser Z found it very strange that Layla could actually see those messages implanted by the first civilization into her animus. Yet Bai couldn't see it,
Well,
so...
like, I'm pretty sure Layla's Animus is like designed to be more powerful. That's why Layla's Animus has the option of dialogue options.
Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense, though, because that doesn't fall in line with canon and the like. And, like, I do agree that,
Nothing with Odyssey falls in line with canon.
Yeah, and I do agree that the whole idea that Layla is able to explore areas not explored by Bayek is very, very odd, and it shouldn't be possible to construct those kind of areas from memories because we literally see that the anime is constructing like very artificial areas without like being seen by the ancestors. We get sequences like in Subject 16's Realm where it's entirely basic polygons that you're just traversing in order to get to Subject 16.
Like imagine if you were playing like AC2 or something, and you were able to go like all the way to like fucking Russia as Ezio, even though Ezio never canonically went to Russia.
Yeah, like that doesn't make any sense. And clearly, that was a massive mistake, or not really a massive mistake. I mean, it's kind of a minor mistake, but I guess that depending on how you feel it affects the story.
I would call it a mistake because they did it on purpose.
It was a mistake for them to not really consider that before actually implementing it.
They just wanted more freaking space for their massive game, and that space was just filled with nothing. 2 areas and Origins that literally don't even have like any locations or anything in them. It's just literally just blank desert.
Yeah. But apparently, Bayek went underneath the Sphinx of Giza because there were passageways under the statue.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he went to a temple of the Isu and he heard a message recorded 109 days after the Great Catastrophe.
Because in Origins, there's like stone things, or like you can like put a constellation in the sky or something. I don't even know how to explain it, but like you'd look at the constellations in the sky, and then you like get like a special rock or whatever, and you go under the Sphinx and you put the rock in like a diagram of Egypt, and then it opens a door and you get like a piece of Isu armor.
Oh, I never did that.
I don't even think that like the armor it gives you is that good, and it also looks really bad. It's honestly like the armor of Brutus and Brotherhood, where it's like I think it was like designed to be like the best armor in the game, and then it just looks like crap, so no one wears it.
Yeah, I did not like that armor from Brotherhood. It was pretty ugly. It made Ezio look fat, and the fur just didn't look good.
It is called the armor of Brutus, but then you see Brutus in Origins, and Brutus like doesn't even mention it at all.
Next thing you know, Ubisoft's gonna say, "Oh, it wasn't the same Brutus guy."
I think like somewhere like they mentioned that like Brutus was like also an assassin, but then Origins just made him like an ally of the assassin or like a proto assassin, like a hidden one. You also only ever see Brutus at like the end of the game. Like he's
Okay.
barely in the game at all anyway, so like why even include him?
Oh, but this is an interesting piece of text in the Atlas. So, this is in the introduction. This is like the first couple of pages of the Atlas, but it says here. Sometimes in the light, often in the shadows, this confrontation between the Assassins and Templars is the cause of many historical upheavals. So the Crusades from Assassin's Creed 1, the Crusades were actually launched in the canon of Assassin's Creed as a way to recover artifacts from the Holy Land. So that was the true purpose of the Crusades in terms of Assassin's Creed, not for what was actually listed in the real world. And also the American Revolution marked a defeat of the Templars. And this one is a little strange. This is probably due to the fact that I haven't finished Unity fully. But it says that the French Revolution is revenge and the sign of an assured Templar victory. So the Templars apparently won the French Revolution.
I think in Unity there was like the Templar group that was like wanted to ally with the assassins, and then this like Germain guy who was also a sage, like he killed the leader of that group, and then he like wanted to like fight against the assassins again, and it started the entire French Revolution.
Oh. How does Balek fall into this? Because didn't Balek murder Mirabeau?
Yeah, because Balak was like he didn't want an ally with the Templars, so like he was still against the Templars like fully. And then, like, when Arno brought Elise to the Assassins, that was, like, drove him over the edge. Because
Also,
Mirabeau
yeah.
was, like, willing to, like, side with Elise, because he was the guy that the old Templar guy allied with.
Yeah, in fact, looking at this section from the Atlas, it says that within the Templar Order, as in the Brotherhood, groups divide in the face of impending political change. They will stop at nothing, with moderates calling for unity and extremists ready to kill even within their own camp. Those extremists that we killed, so I guess they represent bad Templars, and then the moderates are actually the more reserved Templars, I guess the ones that want to ally with the Assassins.
I don't even know. Unity's just hard to explain, because it's a stupid game that everyone hates.
Yeah, and
Unless you're one of those people that are like, Unity is the best parkour in the series, even though it really doesn't.
yeah, and also apparently Arno had actually held an apple. Was this in the Dead Kings DLC?
I think so, because, like, you get, like, a special lantern or something in the Dead Kings DLC, and he, like, takes an apple out of it at the very end. And then he sends, I think he sends it to Egypt. Like,
He sends it to Egypt?
Egyptian mentor.
Oh, to the
There's,
Egyptian
like, a
mentor.
in Egypt at the time, and he sends it to that mentor, who is also called Al-Mualim for some reason.
Al-Mualim is technically a title, so I guess
Yeah,
it's
I
not
think
stupid in a
that's why.
sense. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like they just wanted a cheap AC1 reference, but like also they didn't want to think of like an actual name for the person, so they just went with Al-Mualim because it's more of a title.
Yeah, and also Pierre Balek. He was actually inside of the Bastille because he was searching for traces of the Isu in the fortress.
Yeah, and then that's never followed up on Unity. In Unity, he was like, "Oh, you see these symbols? I've been like searching for these symbols my whole life, or whatever." And then you escape the Bastille, and then it's never mentioned again.
Lame.
They also never mentioned the apple in Dead Kings. Like Arno sends it to Egypt, and then we just forget about it.
Yeah, that just seems to be a trend with all these games after AC3. It's just, oh, forget this, it's just a side game. Like, even AC4, as great as it is, the observatory is completely forgotten about. It has no purpose.
Well, like I think there's a thing on one of the computers in AC4 that you can find, or maybe it's in Rogue. I don't remember. But like you can find a thing where like the Templars said that they launched an expedition to like find the observatory, but like they couldn't use it because it was all destroyed from like natural decay and stuff like that.
Hmm. Also, this part of the Atlas is a little confusing. This is referring to the murder of Arno's father and then uh, Elise's father, but it says on his way to Versailles, Charles Dorian, Arno's father, was assassinated by the Templar Shay Cormac in order to reclaim a precursor box. And then 13 years later, it was also in the courtyard of the chateau where Francois de la Serre, Arno's adoptive father, was assassinated. And apparently, in both cases, Arno was the tragic witness to these murders. Oh, wait, I'm misremembering it. I'm sorry. Yeah, so De La Serre's death was when Arno was like in his 20s, I believe, and then
Yeah.
the death of his father was when he was a kid. So that was what was a little confusing about the Atlas, but that was a mistake on my part.
Because they went to Versailles, and then Arno's dad was like, "Don't leave this chair. I'll be back in like 10 minutes." And then Arno leaves the chair because he sees Elise, and he goes to play with Elise or something. And then he comes back, and Shay kills his dad.
But what
And
was
he
this
comes back
precursor
after.
box?
What's up with the box?
Yeah, what was this precursor box?
In Rogue, it was a thing that they used to like find like precursor sites that like help the world be together, like affected like the tectonic plates or whatever, and like if you destroyed the piece of Eden that was in the temple, then it would cause an earthquake and like destroy everything around the area. But I don't think the box in Rogue is the same one that Ezio gives to Xiao Yun. I think it's a different box.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a different box, definitely.
But like
Hmm.
we never even like find out what either of the boxes are like actually for, or like what happened to them. Well, actually, I think one of the I don't remember which box it was, but there's like some Abstergo scientist in the modern day that like is in Syndicate or something. Eventually, in the comics or something, he like gets one of the boxes and he like tries to use it to like recreate like a precursor body or something.
I thought he was using the Shroud of Eden for that.
Well, like he probably tried to use both. I don't remember.
Hmm. But it once again doesn't go anywhere. We don't see that precursor body except in a comic.
Nothing goes anywhere because Ubisoft just leaves everything open-ended because they don't want to bother explaining anything.
Yeah, it's like they don't want to treat the Assassin's Creed series as a universe now. It's like they want to treat the Assassin's Creed universe as just a set of individual stories that have no relevance to each other.
They just want to make games for money. They don't want to make a story.
Yeah, but that's all we have to really say about the Atlas at the moment. We are coming up on the end of the video right here, so this will be where we assassinate Jacopo de Pazzi. And also, there was a glitch in the original version of Assassin's Creed 2 where you could actually kill Jacopo with your sword, and this would actually glitch out the mission because you'd be able to pick up Jacopo's body, like the body that was still alive, but be unable to finish the mission. And I tried to do it right here, but I couldn't get it to work.
Well, maybe they patched it out in the remaster. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never seen that glitch, so I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, but this is the end of this part of the video, and I know we didn't talk a lot about what was happening in the video because we were so focused on this Atlas and other tangents. But hopefully we'll achieve a better mix in the later videos. So stay tuned for those videos. Thank you all for watching, and you take care now.
You.